What if Luke and Leia never found out they were siblings? The Battle of Endor had come to pass, and the rebellion had won, the Emperor was dead, and the galaxy was finally free, or so it seemed. But amidst the chaos, one critical truth never had came to light. Luke and Leia were never told that they were siblings, and they couldn't sense it. And so, in this alternate timeline, things take a very different turn. In the years following the rebellion's victory, Luke and Leia continued to grow closer. Sure, Han Solo was still in the picture, but even he started noticing something was a little off. Maybe it was the way Luke and Leia would exchange long glances, or how she always seemed to favor training with him over spending time with Han. Maybe it was the fact that Luke was still bringing up that kiss on Hoth, saying things like, "Oh, we really should talk about that sometime, Leia." Han, being Han, figured it was just Jedi weirdness. After all, the Force did strange things to people. But as time passed, the truth was undeniable. Luke and Leia were falling in love. With the war over, Luke decided to rebuild the Jedi Order. Leia, eager to embrace her own potential in the Force, trained alongside him. Their bond grew stronger than anyone had thought possible. Eventually, they could sense each other's thoughts, move in perfect union, and, to the dismay of literally everyone around them, finish each other's sentences. Han had had enough. "I don't know, there's just something that's weird about you two," Han said one day as he was packing his bags. "I gotta get out of here before things just get too uncomfortable." And just like that, the Falcon jumped to hyperspace, and they disappeared to the stars, never looking back. Without Han, there was no longer a love triangle, and nothing was stopping Luke and Leia from embracing their true feelings. They fell completely, irrevocably, and against all odds, biologically in love. The Force worked in mysterious ways, after all. A grand wedding was held on Naboo because where better to have a historic, deeply ironic romance blossom than the very place that their parents fell in love. Thousands attended to witness the wedding of the heroes that stopped the Empire. Some guests included Mon Mothma, Lando, and even Chewbacca, though there was no Han Solo. And it was grandiose and a good time. But the true miracle came a year later, when Leia gave birth to their child. A child unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Born of two Skywalkers, this child's midichlorian count was off the charts. The Jedi holocrons couldn't even register a number that high. Yoda's Force Ghost appeared just to look at the baby one day, and immediately got out of there, whispering, Nope, I did not sign up for this." It seems Yoda was beginning to regret not telling Luke the true truth. His child, who they named Ben Skywalker, yes, they still liked Obi-Wan enough to honor him, was something completely new. The Force bent to his will. Objects levitated around his crib at all times. The moment he learned to walk, he also learned to fly. The lightsabers ignited by themselves in his presence. And most terrifyingly, every time he giggled, shockwaves were sent out across him. The galaxy was not ready. As Ben grew, so did his powers. I mean, he had a higher midichlorian count than that of the Chosen One. The Jedi Temple Luke had built wasn't big enough to contain his abilities. When he had a tantrum, gravity itself seemed to break, sending other Jedi learners floating helplessly through the air. Even the Sith, who were trying to mount a comeback, didn't even stand a chance. Any hint of dark side that tried to emerge was effortlessly wiped out, and sometimes Ben, just still being a kid at the time, he wouldn't even realize it. One day, he looked at a holo recording of Darth Vader and said, "I don't like him." And, well, his words literally were like casting a spell with the Force, because he destroyed that holocron with the mere thought of it. I mean, it spontaneously combusted. Luke and Leia could only watch in awe, and growing concerned to some extent. What had they created? Was this really balance in the Force? Or had they just given birth to a reality-breaking, overpowered, ironic nightmare? Meanwhile, the rest of the galaxy had mixed feelings about the Skywalkers and their new dynasty. Some revered them as divine figures, others feared them, whispering of their unchecked power, though it still beat the Empire. Rumors spread that Ben Skywalker was not just strong in the Force, but he was the Force itself, the Force incarnate. One brave soul, a scholar of Jedi history, decided to dig into ancient records to see how such a powerful being could exist, and that's when they found it. The old records, the lost holocrons, the missing medical scans from the early days of the Republic. And then they realized the horrifying truth. Luke and Leia were siblings. A galaxy-wide emergency meeting was called. Every major leader, senator, and even some bounty hunters showed up just to witness this meltdown. The evidence was undeniable. Even Ned Stark attended. The truth was right there, and nobody knew how to feel about it. Twins. Luke and Leia sat at the head of the table as everyone stared at them in horror. Mon Mothma had her head in her hands. Lando was trying not to laugh. Chewbacca let out a long, mournful wail. Leia finally broke the silence. Well, this is awkward. Luke nodded. Yeah, so what do we do now? No one really had an answer, and Ben, meanwhile, remained unfazed by the galaxy's collective panic of him. But he didn't really care. He was so powerful, and he was too busy bending reality to his will. Wars no longer happened because he simply willed them not to, and there was peace. The Force had become completely balanced, because how could anyone fight when there was a literal cosmic deity child watching over them? The Sith? Gone. The Jedi, well, they existed but were a joke, and even crime across the galaxy went down. And so, despite the deeply, deeply concerning and perhaps unfortunate circumstances, Luke and Leia had, against all odds, fulfilled the prophecy of the Chosen One. The Chosen One hadn't been Anakin. It hadn't been Luke. It hadn't even been Rey. Well, let's be honest. We all know she wasn't really in the running here, but it was Ben Skywalker, the Force-born child of the galaxy's biggest oopsie. With a midichlorian count of 10 billion, the Jedi Order flourished under his rule. The New Republic thrived. Peace spread across the stars. And in the end, balance had been achieved. And that, my friends, is what would have happened if Luke and Leia never found out they were siblings. Would it have been horrifying? Yes. But in the end, there was balance. May the Force be with you. And happy April Fools. I swear, if there's even a single comment of somebody asking for a part 2, that might be it. I might be done. But anyhow, April Fools. Oh gosh, what have I done?